I said before, and clearly I'm going to have to say it again, we just cannot keep this fella's name out of our mouths. Kevin Holland. I said before, and clearly I'm going to have to say it again, we just cannot keep this fella's name out of our mouths. Kevin Holland. It's not even his fight. He shouldn't even be involved. But here he is again. We're talking about him. He's making major headlines. Till out, Holland in. Take us through it, Frank.
That's what I love about this sport, right? As one door closes, another one opens. Not exactly what we wanted, but will we take it? Yes. Will we enjoy it? Yes. Is it a good stylistic matchup? Yes. I'm into it. I think as well. Obviously I'd like to see Till fighting. Got to represent the UK, but it's just one of those things. But I like Vettori because you could argue that he's somewhat emotional. He is very invested in the fights, and kind of similar to the Brunson situation. If anyone's going to draw emotion out of you, it is going to be the mouthpiece that is Kevin Holland. So it's an interesting clash to see a guy that's calm, cool, talks literally during the fight versus angry Marvin. I'm intrigued. Two strikers as well, so I think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be a good scrap on the feet. What are you thinking?
I
Give me
just
your thoughts.
think
Give me a lowdown.
I think after the last fight, if you're Vettori, you're coming into that fight with a lot of confidence, a lot
Facts.
of confidence. So we spoke about if anyone's going to draw you out, and we spoke about that before with the Brunson fight. And of course, they're different fighters, but it's almost like that blueprint is there. And once obviously he watched that last fight, or he's going to watch that last fight. Once you've
Yeah.
seen that, your confidence is going to absolutely skyrocket, because it almost feels, and you couldn't disagree with the fact that it's almost like he didn't really care too much. So as long as you go in with that game face and just switch it off, you know not to get emotional, because that's what you're sort of, if you can turn that off, you're going to be able to be quite effective if it
Try
all
and break
plays
him in
out.
there.
Exactly. But firstly, I must say I'm absolutely gutted
Yeah.
gutted about this Darren Till injury. I think he broke his collarbone, which is one of the better breaks you can get, I think, just because the recovery process is a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've done it myself before, and it
I
pretty
know.
much is
Yeah.
just 6 weeks in a sling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just upsetting, right? This was Darren Till's potential. It opened up a lot of doors, this fight, for Darren Till as well, because if he
Yeah.
won this,
He's getting the
then
shot. He's getting the shot.
exactly. And he wants that, how badly he wants that title. So to get an
Yeah.
injury and to miss out on this, a fight that was very winnable for him. Not that it
Good
was an easy
matchup.
fight. Yeah, not it was an easy fight, but it was a good matchup. And he had all the skills to beat Vettori, like he does with a lot of people in that division, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I'm upset. I'm upset he's gone, to say the absolute least. I've been looking forward to seeing him fight again for so long.
Yeah, it's just one of those things in the sports, right? It does happen, but that's the beauty of this sport. Boxing could never, right? You'd never get a high level guy step in late minute, because they all know this sport is very much what have you done for me recently, right? So if he goes out there and gets a dominant win or even a stoppage, right? Let's just say, not that the Brunson loss is scrapped off his record, but somewhat in terms of his stock, terms of like going forward, the matchups he'll get, his relationship with the fans, it's very much, he could undo a lot of the sort of chatter and the storylines that are going out with him from his last fight, if that makes sense.
I completely agree. Couldn't agree anymore. I think when you take someone like Kevin Holland, and we've spoke about him before in his previous fights, and the sort of fighter he is, and the capabilities that he has, and the
Yeah.
limbs that he comes with, the elbows, the knees, the spinning attacks, all these things. When you have a fighter like that, he has. This is the thing, and this is what makes people like him so exciting in the UFC, because exactly like you said, I can. It's almost I can sort of see it now. He comes up. He gets a very deadly stoppage. Imagine he goes and, I'm not saying he's going to do something like that, but imagine he goes and gets a stoppage like Buckley got. And,
Yeah. It's not
you know,
entirely impossible, You've got a
no,
fast, dangerous striker wearing 4-ounce gloves at the highest level of mixed martial arts. When you zig when you should have zagged, you can run onto one, and
1,000%.
he's a difficult, unorthodox guy to prepare for. And Vettori comes forward, so in that sense, it could it wouldn't be like, oh my god, he hit him
Nah.
with a knee down the middle. It wouldn't be shocking, and it also wouldn't be completely shocking if Vettori went and knocked him out. It's a high level mixed martial arts fight. Anything can happen, and it's a 50-50 in my opinion.
I think I think like you were sort of touching upon, and again, I agree even to more of an extent. I think if he does come out with a knockout like that, no one's going to remember that last fight. No one is going to remember that fight against Brunson where nothing really happened and he spoke through the whole fight. If he gets an deadly KO against Vettori stepping in last minute. And this is just what makes him so important to the UFC, whether they like it or not. This is what makes him so important. Look what's happened again. Last minute step in, there you go. He's done it. He's always that person to say, I will fight. He's that guy. That's how he got his shot, right? He stepped in at the last minute when Dana White didn't even want him in the UFC after the Contender Series, and he threw him into the Lions in his first fight, last minute's notice, and that's what gained him respect. And I think this is honestly the best thing we spoke about before. What's next for Kevin Holland? I think this is honestly the best thing that could have happened for him right now. A last minute step in. Unfortunately, it was for Darren Till, which is probably the last person I'd want to see it for. But I honestly think this is probably the best thing that could happen for Kevin Holland, and dangerous as well for Vettori, because what you said, because he's so erratic with his emotions, with what he says, with what he throws. Like in his life, he's so erratic. He's just not a good fighter to come up against, like you said, unorthodox. So
different style as well. An orthodox fighter when he's preparing for a big power, like it's a southpaw. Vettori's probably confident going in. He's prepared. His cardio's prepared. He would have seen that Brunson fight. He can grapple as well. Vettori, don't get it twisted. He likes to strike. His hands are fast. He's mean. He's tough. He's durable. Will he get emotional in there? You just don't know. But it's just the beauty of MMA. I would have loved to have seen Till in there, but it's just not what happened,
It's one of them things as well. I think because like I said earlier, Vettori's going to go into that fight with a lot more confidence than if Holland didn't have that fight. But I think, again, that just plays into why he's so dangerous, because you have sometimes no idea what you're going to expect with that bloke. So although Vettori may gain some confidence from that, I don't think he should look into it too much, because you just have no idea. He could turn up against Vettori and just not say a word, because weirdly enough, you could see that happening, couldn't you? You could see him doing something like no press conferences, no like nothing.
You don't know with him. So unpredictable.
Well, that's it, and that's why it's a very. He's got nothing to lose, really, Kevin Holland, does he? But Vettori has everything to lose. So I think he's got the worst end of the deal here. But fair play for him for taking that as well, to be honest.
Even if, let's say, they go in there and they have like a 5-round close war, even that would do favours for Holland's stock. Yeah. He has a good, strong, competitive fight that he loses, because then people will be like, okay, fair, like he tried, he stepped in late.
Show some heart.
Yeah, like if he goes in and has a war and like it goes 5 rounds, it's back and forth, but like Vettori edges him out. But that for me anyway, and I think I speak for everyone else, that would make me go a bit more like, oh, like he cares. He went in there, he tried to finish him. He didn't get, he took a risk on late notice. It didn't work out. As opposed to that last fight where it was sort of, oh, you're taking me down. Oh, I'm going to talk to Khabib.
Because ultimately, in the UFC, as fans, as neutrals, the thing that we cheer for the most, the thing that we appreciate the most, is someone that will go out and fight anyone on any given notice, whether they win or whether they lose. Obviously, it's nice to see that win, but whatever the result, is always a big fan favorite. If you're just the one to, that's why everyone loves Nate Diaz. It's what we spoke about earlier, because he's always got his hands up. Exactly.
Just try hard and fight. Like
that's it.
Even if you don't necessarily want to be in a sort of championship material, if you're a prize fighter and you want people to like you, just fight. Like the guys at the top of the welterweight division now, they're all like pointing the finger at each other. They're not fighting. Just fight. Like just fight. And that is exactly what he's doing in a good stylistic matchup, which is this weekend. Thought it was last weekend. Was gutted when I found out there was no
Yeah,
UFC
yeah,
on this
nothing.
weekend.
Nothing at
Comment
all.
below if you've also felt lost and you've lost part of your personality trait when there's no UFC on, because I know we did.
We didn't
But
speak for a whole week.
so we went into hibernation. We was like, what did we do today? Bellator on a Friday. I'm like, I'll
Start
watch
talking
it.
about the weather. That's all we had.
Cut small talk with my mum. I'm like, how you been? But yeah, it's a good fight. I'm looking forward to it. Get the show back on the road. Late notice. How's it going to play out? We don't know. But tell me one more time. I need to hear it today. What do we know?
We're going to find out.
There we go, baby.
As always, you know the drill. If you enjoyed the video, drop a subscribe, drop the bell icon as well to be kept up to date. Drop us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever takes your fancy, because we pump out daily MMA content to get your fix. And as always, drop a comment into the comment section and get the conversation started. We love having a chat with you.
You know the vibes.
Go. Peace and love.